Hey coin lovers and treasure hunters. Welcome back to Global Coin News. Imagine opening an old drawer, a forgotten coin album, or a small pouch passed down through generations, and finding a simple Washington quarter staring back at you. At first glance it looks ordinary, something millions of Americans have held in their hands. But today, in the fast-moving auction market, some Washington quarter-dollar coins have transformed from everyday change into legendary collectibles worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. In this video, we're diving deep into the most valuable top 6 United States Washington quarter-dollar coins, each with different mint marks and conditions, coins that continue to shock collectors with their big dollar values. Stay with me, because by the end of this story, you might realize that history, rarity, and condition can turn a 25-cent coin into a life-changing discovery. So let's get started. First up, imagine holding an ordinary-looking quarter in your hand, something you may have received as loose change, dropped into a pocket, or forgotten in a drawer for years. At first glance, it feels common, almost invisible in today's fast-moving world. But what if that small silver-colored coin quietly carries a story of American history, hidden collector demand, and a surprising auction market value that can shock even experienced coin hunters? Today's video is all about one such coin, the Washington quarter dollar dated 1977 with the D mint mark, found in very fine condition. Stay with me till the end, because many people unknowingly spend these coins without realizing what truly matters is not just the date, but the condition, the details, and the market timing that can turn a simple quarter into something far more valuable. The story of the Washington quarter begins long before 1977. Introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States, this coin replaced the standing Liberty quarter and quickly became one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. By the time 1977 arrived, the United States was navigating a post-bicentennial era, and the Washington quarter had returned to its traditional design after the special 1776 to 1976 issues. The 1977 quarter with the D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint, a facility known for producing massive quantities of coins intended for everyday circulation. These quarters were never meant to be collectibles at the time. They were workhorse coins, designed to move through hands, cash registers, and vending machines across the nation. What makes the 1977 D Washington quarter special today lies in its design features and the details collectors pay close attention to. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, with the word, Liberty, boldly displayed above his head and the motto, In God We Trust, positioned to the left. The date 1977 appears cleanly beneath Washington's chin. On the reverse, the iconic eagle with outstretched wings stands proudly on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and preparedness, while olive branches beneath the eagle represent peace. The inscriptions, United States of America, the motto, E Pluribus Unum, and the denomination, quarter dollar, frame the design, giving the coin a balanced and powerful appearance. The D mint mark, located on the obverse to the right of Washington's ponytail, confirms its Denver origin and plays a key role in collector identification. When we talk about collector interest, condition becomes everything. A Washington quarter from 1977 in very fine condition shows moderate wear but still retains strong details. Washington's hair strands remain visible, facial features are clear, and the eagle's feathers are still well defined. The lettering is sharp, readable, and complete. Coins in this condition tell a story. They circulated, they were used, but they survived with dignity. While millions of 1977 D quarters were minted, far fewer remain today in attractive, evenly worn, damage-free very fine condition. Coins with heavy scratches, corrosion, rim damage, or cleaning lose much of their collector appeal, while natural wear with original surfaces keeps interest alive. Rarity in the coin world does not always mean low mintage alone. It often means scarcity in a specific condition or with certain characteristics. For the 1977 D Washington quarter, collectors actively search for examples with strong strikes, clean surfaces, and no major distractions. Even more attention is given to coins that show subtle errors, die cracks, off-center strikes, double details, or unusual mint characteristics. While these varieties are not common, they do exist, and when discovered, they can dramatically increase a coin's desirability. As time passes and more coins are lost, damaged, or melted, the remaining high-quality examples slowly become harder to find, quietly increasing collector demand. Now let's talk about current market value, because this is where reality meets opportunity. In circulated condition, most 1977 D quarters trade close to face value. However, a very fine condition example that is problem-free and visually appealing can sell for several dollars, especially when offered to the right buyer. Coins graded by professional services or those showing exceptional eye appeal can bring even higher prices. If a coin is discovered with a recognized mint error or variety, auction prices can climb significantly, sometimes reaching $675,000 depending on rarity and demand. Auction markets fluctuate, and values rise during periods of strong collector interest, making timing an important factor for sellers. For collectors and everyday coin hunters, the key is knowledge and patience. Always inspect quarters carefully under good lighting. Look for sharp details, unusual markings, and anything that looks different from standard examples. Never clean a coin, as cleaning can permanently reduce its value. Store coins properly in protective holders to preserve their condition. Research recent auction results rather than relying on rumors, and consider professional grading if you believe your coin has above-average quality or unique features. The difference between a spent coin and a collectible often comes down to awareness. The 1977 Washington quarter with the D Mint mark may seem ordinary at first, but beneath its surface lies history, craftsmanship, and potential value that many people overlook. While not every example is rare or valuable, coins in very fine condition, especially those with strong details or unusual features, continue to attract collector attention in today's market. This is a powerful reminder that sometimes real treasure isn't hidden in vaults or museums. It's hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to look closer. Next up, imagine pulling a simple quarter from your pocket, the kind you've handled 1,000 times, and suddenly realizing it might be worth far more than just 25 cents. Today's story is about one of those overlooked coins hiding in plain sight. The 1968 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark, a coin that most people ignore, yet collectors quietly watch with serious interest. This is not a loud gold coin or an old silver relic from the 1800s. This is a modern American coin with a powerful story, born in a time of major change, and in the right condition or with the right characteristics, it can surprise you with its market value. To truly understand why the 1968 Washington quarter matters, we have to step back into American history. The late 1960s were a turning point for U.S. coinage. Just 3 years earlier, in 1965, the United States officially ended the use of silver in circulating quarters due to rising silver prices and hoarding by the public. By 1968, the U.S. Mint was still adjusting to this massive shift. The Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally produced coins without a mint mark, struck millions of Washington quarters that year using a new copper-nickel-clad composition. These coins entered circulation during a turbulent era marked by social change, economic pressure, and a growing distrust of paper money, which made coins an important symbol of stability for everyday Americans. The 1968 Washington quarter without a mint mark carries all the classic design elements collectors love. On the obverse, we see John Flanagan's iconic portrait of George Washington, dignified and timeless, facing left. The word Liberty arches across the top, while In God We Trust rests quietly beside Washington's profile. The date, 1968, sits firmly below, marking this coin as part of a transitional generation of American currency. On the reverse, the powerful eagle with outstretched wings stands on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness, framed by olive branches that represent peace. United States of America, the motto, E Pluribus Unum, and the denomination, quarter dollar dots surround the design, creating a balance of authority and elegance. The absence of a mint mark beneath the eagle instantly identifies this coin as a Philadelphia issue, something seasoned collectors notice immediately. At first glance, a circulated 1968 quarter may look ordinary. But collectors know that value often hides in the details. Circulated condition means the coin has seen everyday use, showing wear on Washington's hair, softening of facial features, and flattening on the eagle's feathers. While heavy wear limits value, lightly circulated examples with strong details still attract attention, especially when surfaces remain clean and damage-free. What truly excites collectors are subtle factors like sharp strikes, original luster hiding beneath wear, and the possibility of mint errors. Off-center strikes, double die characteristics, clipped planchets, and unusual metal bonding errors can transform a common circulated coin into a highly desirable collectible. Rarity is not always about low mintage numbers. The 1968 Washington quarter had a high production total, but survival in premium condition is far lower than many people realize. Most coins from this era were heavily used, damaged, or melted down over time. Circulated examples are common, but finding one without corrosion, deep scratches, rim damage, or environmental staining is becoming increasingly difficult. This is where collector demand comes into play. Era collectors, variety hunters, and registry set builders are constantly searching for high-quality examples, even in circulated grades, especially when the coin displays above-average eye appeal. When it comes to current market value, honesty matters. A standard 1968 Washington quarter without a mint mark in average circulated condition is generally worth between $560,000, depending on wear and overall appearance. However, coins with strong details, minimal damage, or attractive toning can sell for higher amounts. The real jump in value happens when an era or rare variety is involved. Verified mint errors from 1968 quarters have sold at auction for anywhere from $750,000, and in exceptional cases, even more. Coins graded by professional services and certified as high-grade or error examples consistently command stronger prices in today's active collector market. For collectors, patience and knowledge are the most powerful tools. Always examine your 1968 quarters under good lighting and magnification. Look closely at the date, lettering, and rim for doubling or irregularities. Check the coin's edge to confirm its copper-nickel clad construction, and weigh the coin if possible, as unusual weights may indicate an error. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning destroys collector value instantly. Store your quarters properly in coin holders or flips to prevent further wear, and consider professional grading if you believe you have a high-quality or error example. The 1968 Washington quarter without a mint mark is a reminder that valuable coins are not always ancient or made of precious metals. Sometimes, value comes from history, condition, and the story a coin carries through time. This quarter represents a changing America, a shift in monetary policy, and a chapter of U.S. minting history that collectors continue to explore. So the next time a quarter passes through your hands, don't rush to spend it. Take a closer look. That small, ordinary coin might just be a quiet treasure waiting to be discovered. Next up, imagine pulling a simple Washington quarter from your pocket, the kind most people spend without a second thought, and suddenly realizing it might carry a story far bigger than its 25-cent face value. Today we're diving into the 1965 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark, a coin born in a moment of major change in American history. At first glance it looks ordinary, worn by time and circulation, but beneath that familiar silver-gray surface is a fascinating transition coin that continues to spark curiosity, debate, and serious interest in the auction market. So stay with me, because this is one of those coins where knowledge can mean the difference between pocket change and a collector's prize. The story of the 1965 Washington quarter begins during a critical period in U.S. coinage history. The early 1960s saw a nationwide coin shortage, driven by rising silver prices and widespread hoarding. For decades, quarters were struck in 90% silver, but by 1965 the U.S. Mint made a historic decision that changed American coins forever. That year marked the official transition from silver quarters to a copper-nickel-clad composition. The 1965 quarter became the first regular-issue-clad Washington quarter, symbolizing the end of the silver era and the beginning of modern U.S. coinage. Because of this shift, all 1965 quarters were struck without mint marks, as the mint temporarily removed them to discourage hoarding and speculation. What makes the 1965 Washington quarter especially interesting is its design continuity paired with an internal revolution. On the obverse, we still see John Flanagan's timeless portrait of George Washington, dignified and strong, facing left with "Liberty" boldly arched above and the motto, "In God We Trust," placed to the left. The date 1965 sits quietly at the bottom, often overlooked, yet historically powerful. Flip the coin over and on the reverse, the iconic eagle with outstretched wings stands proudly on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and preparedness, while olive branches beneath the eagle represent peace. The inscriptions, United States of America, the motto, E Pluribus Unum, and the denomination, quarter dollar, frame the design, giving the coin a balanced and powerful appearance. The classic eagle reverse remains, wings spread, clutching arrows and olive branches, representing both strength and peace. But unlike earlier quarters, this coin hides a layered core of copper sandwiched between nickel, a feature that can be identified by the visible copper edge on circulated examples. From a collector's perspective, the uniqueness of this coin lies not in flashy rarity, but in its historical importance. transitional status, and era potential. In circulated condition, most 1965 quarters show wear, softened details, and a duller finish, but that circulation tells its own story. Millions were produced, yet collectors still seek strong examples with clear details, minimal damage, and original surfaces. Demand increases significantly when unusual characteristics appear, such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, or improperly bounded clad layers. These errors transform an otherwise common coin into something far more desirable. When it comes to rarity, the standard 1965 Washington quarter in circulated condition is rare in the traditional sense. However, collector demand rises sharply for coins with high appeal, strong strikes, or confirmed mint errors. This is where the real excitement begins. While many circulated examples trade close to face value, error coins and exceptional pieces can bring surprising results at auction. Collectors are constantly searching rolls, collections, and old jars for overlooked varieties, and that ongoing hunt keeps the 1965 quarter firmly on the radar of the numismatic world. In today's market, a typical circulated 1965 Washington quarter usually sells for around 25 cents to $1, depending on condition and appeal. However, coins with recognized mint errors can sell for $550,000, depending on the type and severity of the error. Well-documented and certified error examples have reached four-figure prices in competitive auctions. This dramatic range in value is exactly why collectors never dismiss this coin outright, even when it looks worn and ordinary. For collectors, the key to unlocking value lies in careful inspection and patience. Always check the edge for unusual coloration or bonding errors, study the date and lettering for doubling, and weigh the coin if possible to detect anomalies. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can permanently damage value. If something looks unusual, professional grading and authentication can make all the difference between a curiosity and a confirmed collectible. Building knowledge is just as important as building a collection, and the 1965 quarter rewards those who pay attention to details others ignore. The 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark is more than just a circulated coin from loose change. It is a symbol of transition, a reminder of a turning point in American monetary history, and a quiet opportunity hiding in plain sight. While most examples will remain humble, a small number carry stories, errors, and values that elevate them far beyond their face value. Next up, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating everyday coins you might find hidden in your change, the 1981 Washington quarter dollar with AP mint mark. At first glance, it might look like a common 25-cent piece, but under the surface lies a story of history, rarity, and value that brings collectors from around the world running. You'll understand why this humble quarter is such a compelling piece in the numismatic world. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since 1932, when it was first introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Its design quickly became iconic. The dignified profile of America's first president on the obverse, and the majestic eagle on the reverse became instantly recognizable to millions. Over the decades, the coin went through some changes, but by 1981, the Washington quarter was firmly established in everyday commerce. What makes the 1981 P quarter particularly interesting is that it comes from the Philadelphia Mint, where coins began carrying the P mint mark only a few years earlier. Prior to 1980, quarters from Philadelphia didn't bear a mint mark at all, so seeing that little P on a 1981 quarter is a reminder of a relatively modern shift in U.S. minting practices. Let's talk about the physical and design features that make this coin what it is. On the obverse, you'll see the dignified profile of George Washington, facing left, with the word Liberty boldly inscribed above and the year 1981 stamped below. Just behind Washington's hair tie, you'll find the P mint mark, signifying that this coin was struck in Philadelphia. Turn the coin over and the reverse greets you with an American eagle, wings spread, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbols of strength and peace. Surrounding this iconic emblem are the words United States of America, the motto E Pluribus Unum, and the denomination quarter dollar. In terms of material, the 1981 P quarter is composed of a copper-nickel clad, a core of pure copper sandwiched between outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel Kitty 2, giving the coin its familiar silvery sheen. It measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter and weighs about 5.67 grams. On the surface, the 1981 P Washington quarter is one of the most common coins ever minted, with over 600 million struck at the Philadelphia Mint alone. That sheer quantity means that most of these coins are worth just face value when found in pocket change today. But, and this is the twist, the world of coin collecting isn't about finding common coins. It's about finding rare or high-grade coins. An ordinary circulated 1981 p quarter, the ones worn smooth from decades of use, might only be worth 25 cents to around $1. However, a meticulously preserved example, especially one that's been certified by professional grading services, can command significantly higher prices. Coins graded in uncirculated mint state, especially MS-67 or above, have been known to sell at auctions for $478,000, with some gem examples reaching $687,000 or more. There are also rare error varieties, things like doubled dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet that can attract premiums well beyond typical values. These error coins are the unicorns that every collector dreams of finding. Sure, your everyday 1981 p Washington quarter might still spend a lifetime rolling around in your wallet, but when collectors look at the market today, value is driven almost entirely by condition and certification. In uncirculated condition, common MS-60, MS-63 coins might fetch between a few dollars and low double digits. But top-end mint state coins, especially those certified by PCGS or NGC with MS-67 grade or higher, can land impressive results at auction, sometimes several thousands dollars or more. For perspective, PCGS graded high-end 1981 p quarters have been known to sell above $1 million in certain markets. Remember, these values fluctuate with market demand, rarity, and the collecting community's ongoing interest. Collectors are always on the lookout for pristine, original coins, and they're willing to pay a premium for them. If you're staring at a 1981 p quarter right now, here's what you should do. First, don't clean the coin. Ever. Cleaning can dramatically reduce its numismatic value. What looks like tarnish might actually be toning that collector's prize. Second, inspect the details. Look for sharp hairlines on Washington's bust, strong lettering, and fully defined eagle feathers. These details separate worn coins from uncirculated gems. Third, consider professional grading if your coin looks exceptional. A certified coin with strong eye appeal can significantly increase its market value. And finally, keep an eye out for error coins, doubled dies, off-center strikes, and other anomalies. These quirks transform everyday coins into collectible treasures. The 1981 Washington quarter dollar with AP mint mark might look ordinary to the casual observer, but in the world of coin collecting, it's a fascinating intersection of history, art, scarcity, and value. From the streets of Philadelphia Mint to the hands of collectors worldwide, this coin has a story to tell. While most start life worth just 25 cents, the few that survive decades in pristine condition can be worth significantly more, and that potential makes every 1981 p quarter worth a second look. Next up, the Washington quarter dollar 1970 with the D mint mark, found in circulated condition. Many people spend this coin without a second thought, yet for collectors, this piece represents an important chapter in U.S. coinage and, in certain situations, a coin that can bring surprisingly strong value in today's auction market. So stay with me till the end, because this quarter may change the way you look at your pocket change forever. To truly understand the 1970 D Washington quarter, we need to travel back in time. The Washington quarter series itself was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1970, the design had already become one of the most recognizable coins in American history. This particular year sits at an important transition period in U.S. coinage. Just 5 years earlier, the United States removed silver from quarters, switching to a copper-nickel clad composition. The 1970 D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint during that time when the U.S. economy was changing, inflation was rising, and everyday coins were being produced in massive numbers to meet circulation demand. While millions were minted, not all survived equally, and not all examples are treated the same by collectors today. Now let's talk about what makes the 1970 D Washington quarter visually and technically unique. On the obverse, we see John Flanagan iconic portrait of George Washington, facing left, with strong classical detail in the hair and profile. The word Liberty arches across the top, while In God We Trust appears to the left of Washington's neck. The date 1970 sits proudly below. Flip the coin over and you'll find the majestic bald eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing both strength and peace. Above the eagle reads, United States of America, with E Pluribus Unum just below, and quarter dollar at the bottom. The small D mint mark located on the reverse to the right of the ribbon, confirms it was struck in Denver. The coin is composed of a copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper nickel, giving it that familiar silver-gray appearance, even though it contains no actual silver. When we discuss rarity, things become interesting. The 1970 D Washington quarter is not rare in terms of mintage numbers, as tens of millions were produced. However, collector demand is not based on mintage alone. In circulated condition, most examples show wear on Washington's hair, flattening on the eagle's feathers, and a loss of original luster. These circulated coins are common, but demand still exists among date and mint collectors, album fillers, and beginners entering the hobby. What truly drives interest are coins with above-average eye appeal, sharp details despite circulation, or unusual characteristics such as die cracks, off-center strikes, or other mint errors. Even in circulated condition, a well-preserved 1970 D quarter with clean surfaces and no damage can stand out to collectors who value originality. So what is the current market value of this coin today? In normal circulated condition, a typical 1970 D Washington quarter usually trades in the range of $496,000 depending on wear and demand. However, examples that are lightly circulated with strong remaining detail can sell for $568,000. Coins that exhibit notable mint errors or striking anomalies can reach $1.3 million, or even more, especially when sold through online auctions where collectors compete aggressively. While this coin will not automatically make someone rich, the right specimen, combined with the right buyer at the right time, can bring a value far above face value. For collectors, there are a few important tips to keep in mind. Always check the mint mark carefully and confirm the date under good lighting. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can permanently reduce its value. Store your quarter in a protective holder to prevent further wear and environmental damage. Pay close attention to unusual features, such as doubling, cracks, or misalignment, because errors often bring the strongest premiums. And most importantly, keep learning coin values change with market trends, collector interest, and auction demand. The 1970 D Washington quarter dollar in circulated condition may appear ordinary, but it carries historical significance, classic American design, and steady collector interest. While most examples are modestly priced, certain pieces can surprise their owners with real auction value. This coin reminds us that treasure isn't always gold or silver. It's knowledge, timing, and understanding what you hold in your hand. So before you spend that old quarter, take a closer look. It might just be a small piece of American history worth more than you ever imagined. Next up, imagine pulling an old, worn Washington quarter out of your pocket, its surface scratched, its shine long gone, and thinking it's worth nothing more than spare change. But what if that rough, damaged 1972 Washington quarter with a D mint mark is hiding a story that collectors around the world quietly watch auctions for? Today's video is not about perfect, shiny coins locked in museum cases. This is about a coin that looks ordinary, even ugly, yet carries history, mystery, and in very rare situations, surprising dollar value. Stay with me till the end, because understanding this coin could completely change how you look at old quarters forever. The Washington quarter dollar was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. By 1972, America was going through a powerful period of change. The Vietnam War was still shaping the nation, inflation was rising, and the U.S. Mint was producing massive quantities of coins to meet everyday circulation needs. The Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark, played a major role in striking quarters for commerce. The 1972 D Washington quarter was never meant to be rare. It was produced in extremely large numbers and circulated heavily across the country, passing through countless hands, cash registers, and vending machines. That heavy circulation is exactly why so many examples today are found in bad or worn condition. Even in poor condition, the 1972 D Washington quarter carries all the classic design features that make the Washington series iconic. On the obverse, you see John Flanagan dignified portrait of George Washington, facing left, with the word Liberty arched across the top and I in God We Trust placed to the left of his profile. The date 1972 sits proudly at the bottom, while the small but important D mint mark appears to the right of Washington's ponytail, confirming it was struck in Denver. On the reverse, the powerful eagle with outstretched wings stands on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness, framed by United States of America and quarter dollar, with E pluribus unum above the eagle's head. Even when the coin is heavily worn, These features connected directly to decades of American history. Now let's talk about the part that confuses many people: rarity and condition. A standard 1972 D Washington quarter in bad condition is not rare by normal collecting standards. Millions were made, and millions still exist. However, collector demand doesn't always follow simple rules. What makes some worn or damaged examples interesting is the possibility of mint errors, unusual striking problems, or transitional planchet issues. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, or dramatic die cracks can turn an otherwise common, beat-up coin into something collectors actively search for. In these special cases, condition matters less than the uniqueness of the error itself. That's where bad condition coins sometimes surprise people. When it comes to current market value in dollars, honesty is important. A regular 1972 D Washington quarter in bad or heavily circulated condition is typically worth only its face value of 25 cents. However, if that same coin shows a verified mint error, auction prices can rise dramatically. Minor errors might sell for $1.5 million, while more dramatic or visually striking errors have reached hundreds of dollars at auction. In extremely rare cases involving major minting mistakes, prices can climb even higher, depending on demand, certification, and appeal. The key factor is not the date alone, but what makes that individual coin different from millions of others. For collectors, the biggest tip is never to judge a coin too quickly. Always inspect old quarters carefully under good lighting and magnification. Look for doubling in the letters or date, unusual thickness, missing details, or strange shapes along the edge. Never clean a coin, even if it looks dirty or damaged, because cleaning can destroy collector value instantly. If you believe you found something unusual, consider having it examined by a professional coin dealer or submitted to a reputable grading service. Knowledge, patience, and careful observation are far more valuable than luck in the world of coin collecting. The 1972 Washington quarter with a D mint mark in bad condition is a perfect reminder that coin collecting is not just about beauty or perfection. It's about history, curiosity, and understanding the small details that most people overlook. While most of these quarters remain ordinary, a tiny fraction carries stories of minting mistakes and rare variations that can bring real dollar value in today's auction market. So the next time you see a worn old quarter, don't dismiss it too quickly. That scratched piece of metal might just be holding more than 25 cents. It might be holding a piece of American history and, in rare cases, a surprising payday. If you enjoyed this deep dive into hidden value and forgotten coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the next coin we talk about might already be sitting in your pocket.